Okay, and I realized there's actually one more thing I wanted to show, which was the center ices. So I documented on my GitHub, um, and let me just pull that up so people sometime in the future know where it is. Under this tilt to BMP, maybe this folder structure changes in the future, but it'll be somewhere on this GitHub. But I did document the file format, so this is for the center ices, the TIL and the map. So the map, it's a raw image. Each byte is a grayscale value, 0 to 255. Um, and I'll show you that and how it looks in Photoshop. And the TIL, and so the way it works, let me see if I can open one. Okay, I need to find one. Let's go flow uh, map and flow TIL. So the tiles, this is just like grayscale color. So every byte refers to a pixel or a palette value in the 256 color palette. And the way this works is that this first byte pair, I don't know if it's byte pair or this first byte, I think it's first byte pair. Um, it's the number of tiles wide the center ice is, and then this is the number of tiles high the uh, center ice is, right? So I think Florida was originally 6 6, and I expanded it to 12 12. So that's like 4 times the data. So I had to I basically copy and paste the tile data 4 times. And then I don't know what this byte does. I think originally it's the value is 10. I tried changing it and I didn't see anything. I have no idea. Maybe it's just a dummy bit. Who knows? And then you get this count that goes from 0 all the way up to 8F. And so basically the way the tiles are stored is they're 8 by 8, right? And so it's basically 8 pixels, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the first row of the first tile. Then the next 8 pixels are the next row of the next tile, and so on until you have like 8, right? So that would be like the first tile data right there, right? And then you get the next tile data, and the next tile is going to be placed to the. So I guess the way it is normally, the way it would be is placed to the right. But this file format actually gives you the flexibility to rearrange the tiles in any arrangement you want, which is really interesting. Um, I do wonder if you can have more, like have this map bigger than, I haven't tested it. I guess you could theoretically. You could have the map bigger than the amount of tiles you actually have. And that could be interesting because if you want to do like a full rink size like art, like say you want art behind the net in both corners, and maybe you want a space behind the net for like tributes, and you've got the center ice ads and center ice logo, and I don't know if you want to do the blue line thing that they do because it's virtual nowadays, but you could do all that, even theoretically, maybe even the boards. So you could do all that, and I guess theoretically, one of the tiles you could add is just like a transparent tile, which would just be FF. If the data is FF, it'd be transparent. And I found that out because this is way back in the day. Because the LA one, they mirror it, right? So they can't. Whereas with a lot of the other center ices, they just paint on the rest of the rink behind the center ice for because the LA one they mirror it on the ice. It's transparent, so they use FF to indicate transparency. Um, so theoretically, you could have one tile that's just FF, and you could have like huge dimensions of it, and just repeat that FF over and over, where there's no tile data, and then or no art, and then you can put in art where you need to. And I also kind of wonder, like, is there any memory limitations or not? Because Um, maybe there isn't because I think it just does it when the game loads. So I wonder if maybe it maps the tiles onto the rink QFS when the game loads. And the fact that it's in a tiled format, it almost suggests they made it in a way where it loads a tile at a time. It drops it onto the rink bitmap, and so it doesn't matter how big your tile is, it won't run out of memory or the how many tiles. That's my guess on why I was able to expand the ice to be like quadruple the size it was normally, or the center logo ice logo quadruple the size, and it was fine. So let me actually open one in Photoshop just to show how it works and how it works with palettes. So let's do that. So C colon, I think in this one I've been messing around. Uh, yeah, so this one, so the dimensions are 20304. So I don't remember this off the top of my head, but I can calculate it. So if you have 2304 divided by 8, because we know it's going to be 8 pixels wide because that's the tile width, so it's 8 by 288. 8 by 288, and there's no header, and it's 8-bit, one channel. Okay, and so then we get this big strip, right? And then if you, um, it's in grayscale, right? But if you go index color, um, so in this case it's fine, like when it's because it's grayscale. And then Florida, I want to say they're 25. And so there you get the Florida, and uh, I think this might be the one where I copied and pasted the data over and over, but basically it's in 8 by 8 tiles, right? And so if you actually went through and like put the tiles next to each other, it would form like a proper like, and if it would be 6 by 6 because that's how it was originally. If you just did 6 tiles in a row and did it 6 by 6, it would look like the Florida Panthers center ice. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's what it looked like. But I'm thinking about making a tool that would make it easy where based on the map and the till and the data in uh, the hockey.exe, which I guess that's the other thing I should quickly show. Um, hockey.exe, um, and show the list. Yeah, so this is the list that includes the data for how the center ices are placed. And so the way it works is you got a 3-letter abbreviation, you got a 0 byte, then you got a byte pair for the X offset and the Y offset. And I believe the way this works is this is in tiles. And it's from the top left of the rink. It's 15 tiles in and 26 tiles down. So that's 15 times 8 pixels and 26 times 8. Um, in fact, like, okay, while I'm here, I might as well let's do this. Um, so rink.qfs. Let me find uh, version of rink.qfs, and the tool I'm working on a QFS extraction tool which will automate like getting the rinks out of the game with like the proper palette. Okay, so let's see what the values were again. So, oh, and I remember this hex value. So it's actually 21 to the left and 38 down. So let me just open a notepad. So 21 and 38. And what's the actual value? So 21 times 8. So that's 168 pixels to the left. And 38 is 304 down. So let's see where 168, 304 nets us. Um, Photoshop. So let's go from the top left. So was it 168, 301? So right there. Um, which I think is about like where the center ice would start. So if I take Florida and uh, pop it in here. Oh, you know what? Let me make this RGB so I can work with layers. But yeah, let me do that. Pop it in here. Okay, maybe it doesn't. It's interesting. It doesn't look like it 100% lines up. Yeah, there's something weird with the rink palette that's going on here. Let me look at one of the screenshots I've taken uh, of, of just the game. Okay, maybe it is like that. I don't know. They're doing something weird on the center ice where there's like a shading that's not there on the actual ice QFS. So I don't know. That's a little weird. But in general, like, yeah, I'm not gonna go through and mapping it out. But I have looked at it like, and it does map out. But I think in general, like that pixel is generally like, or these X off and Y offsets. I think that's generally like telling it. I'm pretty sure that's generally where telling it like this is where the center ice is, or how to position this. Now the thing I don't understand is this, right? So after this, there's FFFF. I have no idea what that does. If you can see, most of the teams have that, as indicated by these weird Ys, but LA doesn't. LA does something different. So let's see, LA. And the other thing is to notice the abbreviations are three letters. So if there's a space at the end, it will have this byte, this 20 byte, and then a 00, then a X offset, then a Y offset, then OF22. I have no idea what OF22 means. I don't know if it's like some sort of hard coding. I don't know if how it's meaningful, but whatever it is, that's what causes the logo to be mirrored. Maybe it's like, hey, position one logo at 15 and one logo at 34. I don't fully know. I haven't messed around, and nor do I. To be honest, I don't really care that much about it because I think most modern logos are um, would use the other method now. Um, um, yeah, so there's that. Is there anything else I want to show about sunrises? No, I think that is pretty much it.